Hello and welcome to the second episode of the U.S. Pizza Team podcast. Out of nowhere, my name is Brian Hernandez, and I am joined today by Melina Felix of PIzza Bandit or the PIzza Bandit. It's the, right? Yep.
Yeah, the Pizza Bandit in Colorado, because there's Pizza Bandits in other states. We are the Colorado Pizza Bandits. Well, the pizza journey really starts when I was in my early 20s and I worked in my uncle's pizza shop, Pino Peroso from Pizza Rustica in Miami. I started working for him, just doing counter stuff, and working for him really got me to see that pizza wasn't just fast food. He used top quality ingredients. They made everything from scratch. People came from all over to hit up his pizzeria because they just knew it was good. Even if they weren't food people, they just knew that it was good. Even just like a basic cheese pizza was good. And it's because he was using these quality ingredients. And I've always been a little bit of a food snob, I'll admit it. So I never, if my friends got Domino's, I was like, or, something like that. So I started working there, and then I eventually just kind of geared off into the creative arts, doing graphic design, working as brand manager, doing that kind of thing. And then every morning before going to my corporate job, every Friday morning I would make pizza, and I would wake up at 5 a.m. to make pizza because the love of making pizza and the love of wanting to eat good pizza had been planted. That seed was planted and it just would not go away. So I literally spent 15, 20 years making pizza every week. And I moved all around the country doing that. I lived in California, I lived in Minnesota, Colorado, Florida, all over. And it was really helpful to try to make good pizza in all these different environments and all these different states. And at the same time, my husband is a professional chef. That's his profession by trade. So I would make pizza, and then he can't turn it off, So it's Friday night, we're sitting on the couch, and I just made 8 pizzas, and every one that he tastes, he's like, a little more acid, a little more salt. So he kind of made me better. And we always had it in the back of our heads, like one day we're going to start a business. We're going to have a pizzeria because I'm crazy obsessed with making it. He's a chef. It seemed like we had everything needed to pull it together. And then after the lockdowns and COVID, we were like, what are we waiting for? Let's just do it. Like, people do it. Why can't we do it? So that was it.
Well, okay. So you said 20 years of making pizza like every weekend. I mean, was that... And you said you were doing it all over the place. I'm like, oh crap. Well, she was doing it for like a job. Were you just...
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I should have clarified. No, making it for myself at home. Yeah. So in my 20s, I worked at my uncle's place, but then I started working as a creative director, graphic designer, and then I would make pizza at home. Yeah, for us to eat. So I'd wake up at 5, set the dough up, and then come home after an 8-hour day and make the pizza. And like this, it literally was weird. It'd be Friday night, and my husband's like, I'm presenting it with like 8 pizzas, and he's like, yeah, we got to do something with this. So I guess I just followed the energy, right? I just followed the flow of what I wanted to do.
Yeah, and that's where I thought you were going with it, and then for some reason my brain took a left turn. It's like, wait, what? Okay, because I did notice, and for some reason in my mind, you've been doing this. I've been seeing pictures of you doing this. I mean, a lot longer than like 2002. But so that's, okay, that makes it. It was official 2002 is when the Pizza Bandit was kind of born.
Correct.
Official
Correct.
Entity.
Yeah, and so I would be at work and I'd be listening to all these podcasts about being an entrepreneur and marketing and what to do. And I'm really bad with dates, so I don't know how long ago it was. But at one point, I heard somebody say, build your audience before you launch the brand and the product. And I was like, oh my God, that's such a good idea. So I started posting pizza videos online. I started following other pizza accounts. I started commenting, and I started getting attention online before we even knew the Pizza Bandit was going to be the name, before we even knew we were going to do it. And so by the time we launched the brand and then did our first little pop-up here in Littleton, we had a line of people waiting outside because they had been following us. So that was, I wish I knew who gave that advice because I would credit them, but that was game-changing advice for us.
That's something that I think about too. Is like that because there's a market right down the road for me. It's like that's where I would go first. Just make people, get the people wanting it. You want that.
Exactly.
And then it's like, where can I buy this? And it's like, oh, you can't yet, but so.
You make them hungry. By the time they show up to get it, they're starving for it. And, I love where I live, but it is, I don't want to say a food desert, but there's not a lot of variety as far as places that aren't chains. The places that are not chains are great, but then there's just a lot of chains. So people that live here their whole life, they're bored. They don't want to drive to Denver. So we saw a need and we took the passion and combined it with the need. And there you go.
All right. And so I'm going to pull up a Word document because I'm all official and stuff. I just jotted down some questions.
Yeah, big time.
Just because basically I'm just looking, you've been on the team for a few years, but I don't know that much about you aside from that you were a pop-up. You were going out there, kind of the pop-up division. I saw just from the pictures of the pizzas I saw, I'm like, holy crap.
Thank you.
But this goes 100% where I'm saying is that all my knowledge is kind of coming from these pizzas are just freaking gorgeous. And
thank you.
I'm wondering some of the stuff, I guess I'm just jumping around, but I guess the question is that you're in Littleton, Colorado. Is there a lot of Colorado influence on this, or there's so much color and is kind of the thing?
Yeah.
Is it functional color, or is it just for color's sake? Are the rest the flavor, the color, is the color go with a specific flavor? Was it there for the flavor, not the color?
Yeah. I absolutely love that I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but you said color and I got all excited. I absolutely love that you asked this question because, I remember reading Ken Forkish's pizza book and he said time and temperature are ingredients. Color's an ingredient in my mind. I always think about color because people eat with their eyes. Color is something I'm always thinking about when I'm putting a recipe together, because I think it's true. Like people see something bright and beautiful and it catches their eyes. It's like a primal thing. And it doesn't have to be, a rainbow of colors on every pizza, but if you can get something contrasting or just a pop, that makes people interested in it. One of our most popular pizzas that we sell is the Sweet Heat, and it has pickled onions on it. And I drop hibiscus tea into the onions while I'm pickling them. So they're literally like bright pink. They glow. People comment on them all the time. It's actually so beautiful. We printed it on the side of our truck. So color to me is huge. Yeah. I try to incorporate it into every pizza.
Well, and we're seeing all the the colors over there, but I'm just it's I get all tongue tied because it's like, oh, this is pop up. What? Okay, so and we're gonna get to that part of the story too. Big thunder here, but once you get past the color, that initial shock is like, oh, that's beautiful. Once you start functioning again, you read the recipes though too. What's giving it all that color and some of the ingredients that you're using and how you're transforming them, like the pickled sweet red onions. A lot of people do it, but it's still not everybody does it. I wouldn't say not a lot of people either. In your area, let's say just take it, regionally or something like that. But does a lot of this inspiration and the color, is the color functional? You want that green on there because the jalapenos look great, but they have that taste that you're going for. Is it influenced by Colorado flavors at all? What are Colorado flavors aside from Hatch chilies? That's like what I know.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, it's really good if you can afford it. We try not to do anything that's pointless, right? So if I'm adding something for color, it also has to bring flavor. That's one of those things that sometimes you don't even realize until you just start pumping a pizza out. And then you're like, this ingredient isn't adding anything. I'm going to remove it. So if we're adding in color, it also has to bring some sort of flavor profile. It has to balance the rest of it out somehow. And as far as the Colorado recipes go, we've been testing a special for the past couple of weeks. And I'm going to add it to our permanent menu, which is the jalapeno popper pizza with cream cheese on it. And before I launched the Pizza Bandit, I started asking people in Colorado, what do you guys like here? Because I didn't grow up here. And people kept saying cream cheese. So we actually use cream cheese in a lot of our pizza recipes. And the jalapeno popper is a huge Colorado thing. I know they have them in other places, but they're very popular here. So we do that one with cream cheese and it sells. It sells all the time.
That's great. It's the common sense thing. What goes with that?
Exactly.
That's what I'm a big fan of, just taking stuff that I like and throwing it on a pizza.
Same. That's how I am.
Delivery system. in my head.
Yeah, there's definitely a big difference between what we do on Instagram and what we sell at the market. So the market and the truck, the flavor palettes, I would say, of the people that come buy our pizza, they're usually going to buy the top 7, and then I'll do a weekly special that has the interesting stuff on it. Mm-hmm. I think if I lived in a different market, maybe New York or Denver, there would be more of a want for that, but people still love to see it, and it still brings them in. And I love experimenting and playing. So I'll never stop doing that.
I didn't know how they was going to yell at me. Apologies. I'm that, but
don't worry.
Yeah. So but you're just saying the difference on, the Instagram stuff. Now, is that Instagram stuff just for Instagram, or because I see a lot of the uni cooking. Now, is that part of your truck, or you go out for the pop-ups, and then it sounds like you have a whole different wing of pizzas that you make just to take pictures of and put up there?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So I'm very responsive to what people say if they're going to be a customer of mine, right? Like I love hearing comments from all around the world. That actually is beautiful. But if my local customers are like, I want to come eat that, I will put it on the menu as a weekly special. So the Instagram serves as a vehicle for creativity, a vehicle to expand the brand. My long-term goal is to make this a brand that's national or possibly international. So that's why we're not super limited to always showing the same 8 pizzas that we make. And I just at heart, I love doing it and I want to have fun with it, so I'm always just going to do it sometimes just for the sake of fun. Maybe that's silly and wasteful, but we do eat the pizzas, and my dogs don't even eat dog food anymore. They get all the crust and the leftovers. They're pretty spoiled. So, yeah.
I'm sure there are vets out there like, no,
I know. Oh, whoops. Pretend I never said that.
Everything, man. Come on. I've been hearing the commercials now. You can't feed them this, that, or the other. I'm like, pfft.
I meant to say they eat a raw meat diet only. Yeah, organic.
Liar. That was kind of one of the other questions too. Is they all look so pretty and things like that, but some of the pizzas tend to look like they could be like healthy. Was there ever a mind? Mm-hmm. Is the health factor of any of the pizzas go into the menu creation, or is it just mainly these are the flavors I like and the colors kind of work together? I need a little color for this. Let's think of what flavors work. Is it just kind of?
Yeah. So one of the things that we always like to focus on when people bring up the health question, we don't use any seed oils. Everything we do is all natural, made from scratch. If I do use a bottled sauce, it'll be something really high quality. I mentioned earlier, grew up of kind of a food snob. I just don't like the way things taste if they're not. I know, and that makes me sound very first world, but that's just I don't like the way fake things taste. So we incorporate that into our pizza flavors. So everything we eat is at least going to be all natural. Now, if you have 5 pizzas in one day, it's probably not going to be good for you, but 1 or 2 I think is going to be okay. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was thinking. It's all in moderation, and you're not. But
exactly,
just being a food snob, like the quality. I think it's more of the quality of it. It tastes better, not.
Yeah, no, you nailed it. It's a quality thing. I don't mean price. Like I love a hole in the wall, but I want what comes out of that hole in the wall. I want it to taste really good, I guess is what I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more about what the flavor is, tastes better.
Exactly. Food made with love. Exactly. You could tell when I feel like there's a difference when people go into the business of making food, but they're more of a business mindset and they do really well and they can have great food. But I feel like you can really tell when the owners of a business are like food people that then went into the business of it. Like it shows in every bite. You can just tell, you can sense the love and the passion that went into creating that.
Yeah, absolutely. They say you can taste the love. You really can.
Yeah.
It's just more about how much you care and quality of the work. So, So you've been a member of the U.S. Pizza team for a little while now. Why don't you tell us kind of how you heard about it? I think it was during probably pandemic or.
Yeah, something like that.
Or something, right?
Yeah, we had been to the Pizza Expo the year that we opened up. So we do a lot of things impulsively and on a whim. There's a lot of things we do with thought, but we also both sometimes just see something and go, let's do that. So we were looking through YouTube and trying to get ideas of how to start this business. And then we see this video about the Pizza Expo, and I had never heard of it. And I was like, I think you were in the video at some point. I see all these people and I'm like, oh my God, we need to go to this thing. So then we go, and of course it was amazing. It was the first one. And I did see the team there and everyone with the matching jackets and competing. And I turned to my husband. I was like, I want to do that. I want to be on that team. I want to be part of this. And so that's how we became aware of it, just going to the expo and seeing everyone there. Yeah. And so it's been great.
And then you jumped in on the virtual cups, didn't you? Because I mean, like the virtual pizza cups. Is it?
No, I did not do the virtual pizza cup. No, I had not known about that. Yeah.
It must have just been the pizzas and talking with you that I was like, yep, bring her on. So congratulations. Good job.
Yeah. Thank you.
So that's early on, and we have a new structured system on how people would get in, but a lot of it was built on, I want to say like current talent, but also eagerness to improve, not kind of be stagnant of, I know everything, I'm good.
Exactly. Yeah.
On that topic, I obviously saw there was a lot, I don't want to say raw talent. There was talent there that had been cultivated for however many years you said you were doing it, just for fun. So, that brings me to my rambling second point of this is that you are branching out from your pop-up.
Yeah.
I don't know, was that the correct term for it? You're going from one thing to the other. Why don't you tell us what you're leaving and what you are becoming, like a moth?
Well, as you were just talking now, I do remember now the first time you and I spoke, it's because I was in the Real California cheese pizza competition one year. That's how we became kind of incorporated. And that's when I called you and said, I'd like to be on the team. And because I was competing that year, you said, okay, yeah.
That makes sense. That makes more sense than me just
yes.
I'm like, I was getting worried about myself there. I'm like, oh crap.
Don't worry. Yeah.
So, I mean, there's vetting there for getting into that competition itself. That's a pretty big thing.
That was.
Congrats on that too.
That was really great. Thank you so much. So we started as a pop-up, really just to be honest, financial reasons. We didn't have hundreds of thousands of dollars lying around to start a restaurant. If I did, I wouldn't even have thought twice. It would have been like, let's do it. So we started as a pop-up as a way to just kind of test the market, grow our brand, and then eventually build the funds to get to the next level. And so the next level now is a food truck, a food trailer, actually. It's a pizza trailer that we had custom built. We are no longer using unis. We're now using Gosnies, two of the really big ones, the arcs. And so we actually built this opening in the back of the truck that pops down, and then the ovens go there. So we can hopefully bake all through the winter. And we're really excited. The truck just got its final licenses and all that a month ago. So it's so new. It just got approved. So we're so excited about it. And I'm super grateful we paid for the air conditioning because I run hot. That's why I'm always in tank tops, because I'm one of those people. So I'm so happy we got the air conditioning.
I'm a hot runner too. I've been most of my life has been very moist.
I'm sorry.
But no, it's losing the weight's helped. But I was kind of going to ask a question on the side of that. I was trying to picture what you were saying about how it kind of dropped behind or something like that. But I was at a place. But my question is that the oven's always going to be facing inside the truck, or did you have it when you said they could drop in? They could drop in either way, and you could cook on the outside, so you're not stuck inside one day, maybe.
No, they face inside. So just imagine like the whole wall of the truck, and then there's just a rectangle cutout, and the rectangle cutout opens like this, and it becomes like a stand, like a table, and it's supported. It can hold 1,000 pounds on it. And then we put 2 Gosnies on it. So the ovens face inside, but because we've got that beautiful AC blowing, it really doesn't get that hot. And, we just switched from the unis to the Gosnies. So we had to adjust our dough a little bit because the Gosnies just run at a higher temperature. So once we figured that out, I mean, I'm so happy with our product right now. It looks really nice.
Well, is this, it's going to be the Pizza Bandit, and it's a food truck now, right? So
correct. Yes.
Little festivals with a tent to now you can roll and take it to.
You got it.
Anywhere
you want. So here's my plan: pop-up, truck, restaurant, hopefully franchise. That's my long-term goal. So we're on phase 2, and maybe it's ambitious, maybe it'll never happen, but that's my goal.
No, I mean, it's good to have goals, and I don't think it's that lofty goal. I mean, you're showing the The drive already. Ooh, that's a nice one. I'll show people that one. I don't even know what it is. If it's oranges.
Oh my God. Okay. So that's one of our vegan pizzas. We don't normally keep them on the menu. They're special order. So if someone wants that pizza, they have to call a week ahead and order it from me. And that's made with a carrot sauce that was slow cooked in white wine and garlic. And then we pureed it to make the base of it. And it's just, again, back to the color. It just came out like so bright and beautiful and orange. And yeah, that's a really beautiful pizza. I actually put that on the outside of my truck too. I took the most beautiful looking ones and printed them on the outside of the truck.
Okay, of the new pizza truck. Okay.
Yes.
So are those yellow things are tomatoes? They're not egg yolks?
No, those are tomatoes.
You can see them now. Okay, yeah, that was. Yeah. I couldn't quite tell at first. That's nice.
Yeah. So one of the things that was important for us is, you know, we do have vegan pizzas if people want them, but we don't want to use vegan cheese. So we want to just instead highlight other ingredients that are going to bring the flavor without adding that cheese. Cause I can't control how it melts and I'm not really a fan of it. I mean, if someone brought it to me, I'd use it, of course. But so that's one of the things that we try to do if we're going to have a vegan pizza.
Okay, so you guys are doing, you know, into the vegan realm. I mean, I appreciate the honesty about not liking the cheese. I don't think.
It's not the market for it either. I might get 1 or 2 people every 3 months asking me, but it's just not my market. I'm in a small town, like, you know, they like barbecue and cream cheese and all that, which who doesn't?
Right. See a lot of corn on the pizzas. I like that.
Yeah, and we like to roast our corn whole. And then get some grill marks on it and butter it and put a little tahini on it and then put that on the pizza. So you're actually, when you bite into it, you're getting like a little chunk of corn that came from the cob.
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff, like I said, even if I had
so much
California competition, I probably would have reached out because there's a lot of good flavors there that I like. I'm a big fan of color for color's sake, but the flavor has to work.
The flavor has to work.
If I want a specific color, I got to find something that's going to taste good, that color.
Exactly.
Put on there, so. That's why I like, and I'm kind of getting into pickling stuff. My buddy at PMQ's got a bunch of quails in his backyard, and he gave me a dozen and let me have one of his pickled quail eggs, which was delicious. So I made some quails. But, you know, obviously there's always been there the pickling of onions and things like that. Yeah. So let's get into doing that. It's another level of ingredient flavor that I haven't necessarily played around with much. But I want to.
It's so good on pizza because you have all the fat from the cheese. So then you get the pickling that just kind of cuts through it. I love it. Yeah.
So what temperatures are you cooking at? Because a lot of your dough looks very Neapolitan-esque, Neapolitan style.
Yeah. So we were cooking at around 750, 800, depending on the ambient temperature. And now we're cooking at around 850. So, you know, because we just switched our ovens a couple weeks ago. So we upped our hydration a bit and now we're cooking faster and we're cooking at around 850. And we do, it's about 75% Caputo Blue. And then we have a little bit of bread flour. And then I add a small amount of whole wheat and rice flour just to give it a little structure because people don't really have a place to sit, you know, when we're selling to them. So I don't want to give them a pizza that flops.
Well, that's good thinking. I mean, it's part of knowing your market and adjusting.
Well, they'll tell me if they're not happy. So
you could save it, you know, instead of paper plates and napkins, you just give out, you spend the money, get good quality napkins, and you're good.
Oh yeah.
You shouldn't hold it long enough to be able to get that flop. You know, it should be
exactly.
gone.
Just shovel it in. Yeah.
All right, well, that's awesome. So, did you have to kind of teach people? Is this indicative of, like you said, there's not a lot of there's a lot of change, but not a lot of, I guess, independence. Did you have to teach people to enjoy this style of pizza, or was this indicative of the flavors of what people were wanting there, or kind of both, what they were wanting, but with a little, you know, Melina flair?
Yeah, you know, there wasn't really a lot of teaching involved with the round pies. People just, even if they didn't know what they were trying, like as far as it being Napolitana or Neo-Napolitana, I think there's a lot of people that don't know, right? They just know it's pizza. They just loved it. They would just come back and be like, this is the best pizza I've ever had. This is so good. I love it. And they don't know why, but but they love it. And so we would always explain to them the quality of our ingredients, the quality of the flour. But then when we started doing the Romans, that was a learning experience because most people had never even heard the term, had not seen one. And we started doing Romans because a lot of people wanted slices and they wanted to just walk up, point to something and walk away. So we started doing Romans, and that we had to really just teach them about. And it was actually a beautiful experience because then they taught us things too. Like we had people saying, oh, well, I froze it for, 6 months and then ate it later. And I was like, I don't know if I would have waited that long, but it worked. Or someone would say, I know how to make it in the air fryer. And they came every Saturday and they had the air fryer instructions, which I hadn't even thought of. So that was really fun. And that was a learning experience that we had with our customers. And we have great customers, by the way, like loyal, just, I can't say enough good things about them. I'm so blessed, really.
Yeah. That wasn't Roman style. I just like the way it looked. It looked tasty.
Oh, yeah.
I like what you're saying, though, about them kind of teaching you a little bit on it as well. I mean, and them eating it, I mean, they're going to have more different experiences from you. You can't prepare for every person, every home oven, but you can prepare for as many as you can, I guess. So
yeah, and one of the things I liked about the Romans, unfortunately we're not doing them anymore. We're experimenting now with making square Sicilians, because with the Romans, I had them out when we had a pop-up. We had a big table, which was almost like a counter, right? So I had them all there. But now that we're in the truck, I don't really have space for them. So I have some customers that are asking me that they like the crispy bottom, the square shape. So we're trying to come up with something else we can offer them. But the thing that I did love about making the Romans is that I would make 5 or 6 flavors that were not on the menu, and then just have a little card out. So then people would come and just point to that. And that was really fun for me creatively, because again, sometimes I turn this into my personal art project, right? But it worked. People would walk up. There was one Roman pizza that we did, and it had a roasted chili pepper on each slice, but whole. So it had like a cream base, and it had cheddar cheese and bacon and a bunch of other things. And then instead of slicing the pepper, I just had it whole on the one slice. And so people would walk by and they'd be like, what is that? And then I would tell them, and then they would buy it. So that, I do miss that part of making the Romans. But if I have a store one day, I'll be able to bring that back.
Well, what about this? I was going to say something like, smaller.
So that's our pumpkin spice pizza that we make for, for November. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wasn't sure exactly what was on it, but it had the concept of smaller, square.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of our Roman slices. Yeah.
It is. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so
just make the whole thing, instead of making a slice, just make the whole thing smaller.
Yeah, I can. So we're kind of experimenting right now, because we have the new ovens and just different space limitations. So we are experimenting with that. I just started experimenting with putting semolina in the crust, which, oh my God, you just get that nice crisp on the bottom, which is great, because before, sometimes when we would store everything, they would get a little soggy. So I'm experimenting with that, and I've been really happy with the results. You got to always experiment, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can't. I know everybody's looking at, what's he doing? I'm just looking at all the stuff on your social media. I don't do social media often, so this is kind of a treat that I have to for work that I'm enjoying.
Oh, good. Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I'm paying more attention to this. What? No, I think, excuse me, it's an interesting journey, and it's kind of happened pretty fast. I mean, was this the speed that you had in mind for it, as far as going from pop-up to this truck? Was this the plan that you had from the beginning, or did it all of a sudden after the pop-ups you're like, new plan?
It's been way faster than I could have ever imagined, and way better. And I'm just, sorry, just got a note that my computer is going to die. Hold on, let me just plug it in. So I meant to plug it in before the interview. Here's the plug. Not plugged into it. 1 second. Everything has gone way faster than I even imagined. So I am super, super happy. No complaints on my end.
All right. So even having gone faster, this is kind of what your plan was. It's going every time. Everything's going according to plan, basically.
Yeah. And honestly, the game changer was doing the California Pizza Contest. That was such a game changer that just gave us confidence, and it just opened up the pizza world to us. I mean, that was life-changing. And I tell them every time I see them, that group of people, they're such wonderful people. And so I will be eternally grateful for being part of that. Yeah.
Well, I know you said you got to shift focus away from competing for a little bit. You texted me all worried. Don't kick me off the team. We'll see. We do have one coming up like real soon, so it could be your last.
I know, right? So this year, just because we have the truck going, it's just been, I can't step away. But next year, I plan to go and enter as many contests as possible. That's my goal.
Yeah, no worries. I like how you were saying earlier, I wrote this down. You didn't have to teach the people too much because, you know, if it was round, they didn't really care. You think?
Yeah, they just knew pizza.
They security in the safety and the shape. If it's round, I don't give a crap what's
yeah.
I understand round.
Exactly. Then it looks familiar. Yeah. And there's some people that are like very well versed in the world of pizza, so they'll walk up and they'll be like, "Are you making Napolitana?" You know, like they're all into it, and we love those customers too because they appreciate what you're doing. You know.
Is that what you call your style, or what do you call the pizza that I'm seeing here mostly? What you were doing before you transitioned to the truck?
I can't take credit for it, but I saw someone somewhere say Neo Napolitana, which means it takes the pizza process takes its roots from Napolitana as far as like the flours and the fermentation and everything, but it's not the Napolitana style, which I know has very rigid standards. So I heard that and I was like, I love that.
Yeah, and I always said something kind of similar to that, but I always said it's Neapolitan style, meaning it's not true. I always just said Neapolitan. It's a Neapolitan pizza. If it wants to be, if it's not ticking all the rules, it was Neapolitan style. I like it's how you said it's Neapolitan. So because Neapolitan style can still mean true Neapolitan. I mean, it gets ugly. So
yeah. I get weird about that too. Sometimes we'll do an event and the event coordinator will put something out on social media and it'll say Neapolitan. And I'm like, not really. Again, most people won't notice, but I don't want to offend anybody where it is a big deal to them, you know?
Well, I was going to say, I like that you take the care for that because for whoever it's a big deal to, it's a huge deal to.
It is a huge deal. Yeah. I don't want to get on their bad side.
Right. Yeah. And they're typically, the people who are higher up too. You want to keep them friendly.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like that. Well, the differentiation that, status, words matter, status matters, and, earn what you say. So
exactly.
Like
yeah.
All right. Well, I think this has been a great journey. Where can people? So you've made the transition from pop-ups in the Littleton, Colorado area to what? You're on the food truck, and you're going to be doing what and where?
So we just have a bunch of local events. We're doing a brewery on Friday. We do the market every Saturday. So we just announce wherever we're going to be on Instagram. My city of Littleton is so chill. I called the city and I'm like, where can I park the truck? And they were like, anywhere that doesn't violate non-competition laws or traffic laws. And I was like, sweet. I love that answer. So we actually are closed today because we're going to go and just scout around and find places to park because this is all just so new to us. We just got the truck. So we'll announce on Instagram where we're going to be.
Okay, so I mean that true gorilla, like chef style. I mean that's the dream.
Exactly.
I mean, myself included, like, I want to get a food truck. I'm calling up people. You want to do this? But I also knew the hard work, which is why I didn't get it yet because that was always one of the things is like being knowing where you can go. And other people are like, well, it was easier for them to partner with a business and say, can we park in your parking lot and then do lunch for that business a lot of times, or like a strip mall or something, or But strip malls, not a lot of strip malls because, like you said, non-compete. They got their own lunch places that don't want you showing up there. So
that's the Barrows in every mall.
Well, I like you said they're pretty chill about it, and you can kind of just drive around. So when you say you just got the truck, I mean literally, how long have you had it? How many events?
It's been in our possession for almost a year, but we've been building it and upgrading it. When we got the truck, it was literally just a truck with a wrap on it. So then every month we would just add stuff to it. And then winter hit, which shut us down for a while. So we couldn't really do anything. But when I say we just got it, we just got like all the licenses and everything approved about a month ago. Yeah.
That's great.
No, it's really exciting times.
still brand new. So this should be hitting newsletters, inboxes in July for U.S. Pizza team members and the lay pizza person alike. Look at that one. It's no cheese. I'm liking the no cheese ones because.
Oh yeah, I love those.
Ready to post on Instagram. I don't post often, but I just realized it's been videos of me and us promoting the competition, our pizza forum, and I'm like, we haven't put pizza picture up there. So I found one that uses Melinda's hot sauce, and it's no cheese.
Nice.
Cup of char pepperoni, Melinda's hot sauce. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is what I mean. Like if you're gonna make a vegan pizza, there's so many beautiful ingredients out there, or a non-dairy pizza that you actually don't miss the cheese. I find. I love a marinara pizza. That's what I call them.
All right. So if you want to get this, guys, you can probably just stroll around Littleton, Colorado somewhere, chasing the business because it's not set up yet. But follow the Instagram.
Yes.
And Facebook. They'll inform you. What is one final message for the pizza world? What do you want to let people know? First off, two more questions. What is the one thing you are most excited about for your new pizza truck? And then what's one final, positive affirmation, like Stu Smiley or whatever his name was?
Gotcha. For the pizza truck, I really just want to expand as much as possible. I want to do as many events as possible, be in as many markets as possible. So it's really just scaling and growing, which is painful and busy, but it's also super exciting. And there's a lot of situations where you don't know what you don't know. Man, that happens a lot. But it's always good when you finally figure something out. I tend to learn the hard way. Often I wish I didn't, but that's all right. I've accepted it. And my message to the pizza world is just thank you, because everybody is so nice and so grateful and so kind and so welcoming. I can't say I've met a stinker in the bunch. Everyone is so just like, they love pizza too, and they want you to be part of it. So it's just thank you to everyone that was so nice to us and is still super nice to us. We're really grateful for that.
All right. Well, Melina, thank you so much for being the second victim on the U.S. Pizza Team podcast. Hopefully we'll get more with some kind of regularity. I'm hoping. Hopefully some members will step in to help me with those kind of responsibilities. But we wish you the best luck. I'm glad because this was a chance for me to get to know you as well, and I'm looking for that again. When I used to do my interviews, it was a better way to get to know all the members. So keep up the great work. Keep up the wonderful pictures and the pizzas, I should say. Actually, best of luck to you.
Thank you so much. Will do.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.